Hey everybody, welcome back to Fantastic Fantastic. You see your boy Ian.
And Joey.
Yeah, we're chilling. Today we're kind of just talking like a podcast. We're officially a podcast now. Today's kind of interesting because we're gonna be talking about romance again.
Yeah, so what's interesting is that one of our viewers actually sent us a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Hi, Elaine.
Hey, Elaine.
And they just wanted some answers or some advice, which
Yeah,
is like,
so we're just honestly gonna answer them. The first question: how long do you think the talking stage should last before dating? This is also really interesting because Joey's kind of has a crush on someone right now.
yes, this is true.
And
This
I
is
think
true.
technically they're on the talking stage.
I think that's what you would call it. And it's weird because I honestly haven't, I've had a boyfriend, but I don't know if we even had a talking stage, to be honest. And in this case, I'm like, oh, I'm actually like, is this what the youth call a talking stage, where you're
The
just
youths.
I know, I literally had to call one of my friends. I was like, I don't know what this stage is. Like, what am I doing?
Well, I don't know if you want to share with people, but do you want to describe?
I think it's like, okay,
You like this guy.
yeah, I do.
And does he like you?
Yeah, I would say so. And no, he likes me back.
Is he going to watch this episode? Yes, he will.
Yes, he does watch our episodes. And I guess, okay, that's what I assume a talking stage is like two people know they like each other.
Yeah. I
And now
guess
they're
so.
just talking.
What's so confusing is that like there's so many terminology around all of this that it's kind of hard to discern what is what, When I know friends that say like, "Oh, this is like we hooked up." It's like that can mean so many things to so many different people. And it's the same thing with talking stage. I think for me I define it as like, yeah, you're kind of like talking. No. Cuz also like there's talking stage and then there's dating.
Yeah, okay, let's like what's the difference?
There's talking, right?
Eh,
And I think you're just kind of like, oh, hi, hello, cool, hey. And then that's a talking stage is kind of like done.
Okay, I have a question.
Dating
Yeah.
would be like you're going on dates, right?
Okay.
But you're not exclusive yet.
I see.
And then you're exclusive, and then I
Exclusive
get
being like,
exclusive.
can I be your partner?
No, no, no. I think like in this case, it's like exclusive that like you're dating, but you're not really official.
Oh my god,
I
there's so
know
many steps.
it's so fucking hard to
Oh
be us
no.
these days. So I think what Elaine is talking about here is that like talking stage. I think what they actually mean is like before dating is making it official. So I think that's it. It's like what is the stage between like how long does it take from you knowing that you guys like each other or like meeting up for the first time to when you're officially like now we're official. Now we're like partners. What are your thoughts, Joe? I mean, I want to hear yours first.
I would say, well, the person I like, I feel like I'll date them, yes, but
That's crazy. No, but that's not that crazy. It's fun just because I know that he'll be watching this, and you're just kind of like, well,
oh gosh, it feels kind of meta because Elaine's questions are like things I have asked my friend
okay,
like,
cool. Well, that's
2 weeks
it's
ago.
exciting. Elaine, thanks for asking. Elaine is one of our longtime kind of supporters of the channel. We freaking love them. They're always in our comment section, so it's fantastic, and they're an artist. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
I would say, I guess it takes it like it would be as long as you feel like it. That's super vague,
Okay,
but
follow
I think
question.
how long do I feel like it? I think like I would like to go on a couple of dates before to see how I am with this person.
Damn.
What?
A couple dates is still kind of short to me.
Okay. How long would you say?
I'm gonna say 10 dates because you don't know kind of like how the person that you're seeing is. You want to see how they are when they're just like in the morning, when it's like, oh, okay, like they might not be a morning person, or when they're super stressed, or when you're at dinner, or when you're just hanging out casually. I feel like that's really important before you make it official, just because a whole point of a relationship is that like you enjoy their company, period, full stop. That's kind of the whole point. But if you've only see them through lunches and dinners in like a 2 hour 3 hour bursts, it's like you don't really know the full picture.
Yeah, I think that's why. I mean, a couple can be a wide range of numbers.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's specifically what I would get at. Like, I feel like a talking stage should last as long as like how many contexts can you see in this person? Because I feel
Yeah.
like I've heard a lot of my friends talk about relationships they jump into, and then it's like, oh, I found out this about him, and then they broke up
I'm
after
like,
2 months,
wait,
and
I'm
I'm
like, girly pop, you should
should've,
have
like,
known that shit.
before.
What the fuck?
Like,
You
it's
know?
not that big. Like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, he seems really stressed, and you don't like that. Like,
No, well, I mean, stressed is fine, but it's more of just like, yeah, when he's stressed, he gets mad.
no, that's what I'm saying.
It's like, whoa,
you should find
you
out
should've-
how he
yeah.
acts when he is stressed, or how you act when you're stressed, and show that side instead of you going in blind.
And I think naturally it comes out of conversation too, where like you'll the more you hang out with someone, the more you'll realize like, oh, interesting, that this is how they react. This is how they operate, you know, when they're going through something. This is how they treat their friends. This is how they treat their family. This is how they talk about their exes. Like, all those things are like little hints of like who the person is. And I think a lot of times some people, because not everyone, they kind of like rush into it. And I'm like, oh, you're kind of dating, and it's like an official thing. So it's like long term. And why would you rush that, you know?
Yeah, if you have like a long time, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think that, like, gosh, I forgot what I was totally gonna say. My bad, guys. But yeah, that's basically the answer. I feel like
Yeah.
go on
10.
10 dates.
Buddy. 10 dates, buddy. You should go on 10 dates. I mean,
Oh,
like,
God.
definitely, like, not. I think 10 is really good. You know, 10 is like minimum from my opinion.
Okay.
Go on a coffee date. Go on a walk. Go ice skating. Go.
Wait. Sorry.
Yeah.
What classifies like a date and not a date?
Just like a hangout.
Oh, okay.
A hangout
I
where
see.
there's like intentional, like you and I are gonna hang out from this to this, or like starting from here, and then the night just go whatever. But it's more just like this is intentional. Speaking about dates, what I think is important is if on the first date, the man brings flowers.
Oh.
I think the man,
They already
anyone, should bring flowers. Go to Trader Joe's.
God, this is so.
Get some flowers. Get like an actual flower, right? The flower ones. And then you want to get the filler flowers too. So that way it's a full bouquet. You can use the ones at Trader Joe's. They have like actual like now they sell kind of the kit for like $2 extra. Or you could just use the paper bag from Trader Joe's, which is also really cool. It also works. I think coming with flowers shows intention.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like as you're making the flowers, you're thinking about the person, and it sets you up to succeed.
Okay, another question is like, is there a certain thing that the first date should be?
No.
Okay.
I think it should just be like you are hanging out with this person and you're trying to get to know them. If you've been talking to them in a non-romantic context before, then it could just literally be something that you two want to do. Whether it's a new restaurant, new activity, or just talking, like it could be whatever. But when you bring flowers, tips for my dudes out there, when you bring flowers, it becomes intentional. It's like, no doubt this is a romantic thing. You know, I think a problem that I've had in the past is that like my personality is very like kind and nice. And so like when I talk to multiple people, like, oh, he just does this for everyone. He's just nice to everyone. But do I bring flowers for,
Oh, okay.
you know?
I see. So like flowers are your indicator that like this is an intentional act of
Yes.
kindness, instead of you just being like, oh, it's part of his personality. Like,
Yeah, I
he
think-
hugs everyone.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I'm a physical touch person and I'm very like nice and kind and whatever. But when I bring flowers to a date, it's like no question, this is for romance.
This is a date.
This is a date. I'm paying for your food, you know?
Yes.
So that's kind of like, that's what I think.
Okay, cool.
You're welcome, Joey.
He already, whatever. I'm not.
Oh, he already got you flowers?
No, no, it's okay. What's the most meaningful thing you've learned from this is the second question. What's the most meaningful thing you've learned from one of your past relationships? Can apply to ex-friends too. Guya?
Yeah. There's a few. There's so many things that I've learned from past relationships. One of which is it's a huge responsibility. I think this is something that I've told Joey in the past, and I've repeated it through like my stories, is that like when you're dating someone, this is like someone's heart. you know? Like you're dating someone and you're going to be their person, and for sure you can rely on friends too, and that's really important to have strong friendships, but when it comes to a partnership, like a monogamous partnership, it's kind of like now they kind of they're relying on you. They're trusting you to be there for them. And so if you're the type of person that isn't reliable, then it's just like now you're just playing with their feelings. You know, I think that's something I've learned where I'm like, oh, okay, like that's why I'm so hesitant to go into relationships. Maybe I have a fear commitment. Who the fuck knows? We'll find out. But it's kind of just like it's important that this person that you know that like when you're dealing with people that they're like a full human being. And I think sometimes we might forget that they have their own like story, their backstory. They have like they cry when they're alone, you know. But you have the power to make them not cry, you know, or make them happy.
Yeah. And also, I think like the way they treat you maybe they did something to upset you. It's also important to understand they also have a whole other life too, and like to consider what their feelings are and their context.
What do you mean?
Like sometimes when friends complain about relationships or like fights, I feel like it's very one-sided where they're thinking about just how their partner is like treating them.
Okay.
But I'm like, have you tried talking or like thinking about what else is going on in their life and then helping them in that way?
Yeah.
Because like you said, they are a whole person. There's someone else like with a whole life.
I think, yes, I agree. I think it's important to, when you're going into relationships, is that like you kind of should probably maybe like go at it from a perspective of abundance, in the sense that like you need to know, or you need to build up this confidence in yourself that you are the shit. So that way when you're going into relationships, you're able to do a lot of the things that can help do a lot of the things that will benefit a relationship in a healthy way. For instance, because that's really confusing. If you know that you are an awesome person, you're an amazing person, and it's a genuine level of confidence, then when you are communicating with someone, it's easier to give them the benefit of the doubt because you know that you can leave at any time. Do you know what I mean?
No, can you say that again?
Okay, maybe I'm fucking confusing. Like the idea here is, the lesson is that you should give people the benefit of the doubt, right? So like let's say if you were in a relationship and you harm me and you say something unintentionally, if I have the benefit of the doubt, if I give you the benefit of the doubt, then I'm assuming that you're doing something out of good intention, but the impact might have been poor, right? But I feel like it's easier to give people the benefit of the doubt if you know that the prize / the benefit is you. Like,
I see.
you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
okay, like worst case scenario, I leave and you don't have me anymore, you know? And like, but you only have that confidence if you know that you're amazing, you know? And so it's easier for you to operate with that level of kindness and trust if you know that the worst thing that could happen is that you just leave, you know? Not that you lose them, but they lose you, right? And so like for me, I operate in a sense of like I give people my trust before they have to, instead of them having to earn it, you know, because I know for sure that like me equals pretty cool, I think, you know?
Yeah.
But it's also kind of like, well, if you break my trust, then what you lose is my friendship. What you lose is my companionship. And that sucks for you, you know? But operating with that, I think is a lot easier because it's a lot easier for the relationship to do well because you're starting off with such a high point already, and it doesn't feel like the other person has to earn something before they get the benefits of your kindness, love, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think we've discussed this before where like you're the type of person who will just give their 100% to someone.
Yeah.
And sometimes your friends or sometimes other people have said like, no, I think you should give like maybe 50 and then slowly build your way up.
No.
But you don't really think that way.
Yeah.
And I think now you've explained why.
Yeah, and I think this goes to another meaningful lesson that I learned during my relationships is that like one of the biggest regrets that I've had is that I didn't try harder from the beginning. You know, when I think about the exes that I've had and the relationships that we've no longer have, and I look back at those things, I think about like how, that sucks that I should have fought harder from the beginning. I should have treated them with more kindness in the beginning. You know, I should have gotten them flowers from their first date. Like little things like that, because I'm like, well, even if we broke up because of a lack of compatibility, a mismatch of values, then at least they were able to experience that side of me that, you know, I wish they would have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I think about like my high school relationship where I'm like, that person was so nice to me, so kind to me, and taught me so much about what it meant to have someone on your side, that I was like, when I look back at that relationship, I don't have like hard feelings on them. But I do think about how, like, yeah, in the fights, I could have been more kind. You know, I could have been more forgiving. I could have been more understanding, you know? But I felt like I had to withhold that because I wasn't operating from a place of love. I was operating from a place of fear, where I was like, you need to earn my love. You need to earn my, you know, all these things. But I'm like, no, maybe they should have just got that from the start.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I think it's like, yes, take a long time to go from the talking stage to like officially dating, because once someone has your heart, you should give them all of it. You know, and if you break up, like, that's part of the fun. That's part of like that's part of the life. That's part of life. You know.
Nice. Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure. You don't have any.
I think
What did you learn from your last boyfriend?
probably, I think if someone likes you, they'll actually show it.
Oh yeah, that's.
You know, I think that's pretty basic, but like people say that people are really obvious when they like someone, and I do think that's very true. And I think like you might be on the fence, like maybe this person likes me, maybe this person doesn't, but you should probably, if it's majority, maybe he doesn't or she doesn't, then they probably
fucking
don't like you.
They fucking don't.
You
They're
don't want to
using
hold
you.
someone hostage low key to just date you and feel like they're forced to. So I'm just saying that like if someone likes you, they'll be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And I think the same goes for like friends. I feel like all friends are very intentional with their actions, and like if they care for you, they'll show it. And if you don't think they care for you, then maybe communicate first. And if they don't show up even after that, then you can consider maybe they don't actually.
Yeah, yeah. I think like as a man, it's like there are people who I know in my head where I'm like, yeah, I like them, but then there's no action that I take. You know, I'm like trying to convince myself that I actually do when I fucking don't.
Yeah.
But there are people who I meet where I'm like, no, I'm gonna do everything. You know, it's actually quite natural for me to do everything for them, because I'm like, I actually do like seeing them happy. I actually want to see that smile, and I want to be the cause of it. And so like as a guy, I'm like, yeah, no, I would do it. If I like someone, I fucking would.
Do you think, okay, so you think the phrase like if he wanted to, he would reigns true?
Bro, that's like whoever thought about that phrase, fucking like wisdom.
Because people are online are very like, this lacks nuance. This is like such a
No, it's not. It doesn't lack nuance. I think like because it's like the concept is so like good. I literally would. I literally would do that, you know? Or worst case is that like if I can't do something, I will communicate. But I will also find another way to do that thing, you know? If it's someone's birthday that I have a huge crush on, best believe I'm going to try to find out what their favorite gift is, you know? And if I can't do that, I'm going to ask their friend. If I can't do that, I'm going to fucking write them a letter. Like I would do something, you know? But there's too many people who convince themselves that someone likes them when all they're getting is scraps, and that shit's sad.
Yes,
don't be one of those people. Sweet. Number 3, when do you know you've healed enough from a past relationship to go explore new ones?
My initial thought is, I think for me, like I like myself a lot, and I think I can like live with just myself, and I'm very comfortable with who I am right now and in a good spot. A relationship is a really big responsibility that like for the past couple of years, I've been just taking care of myself and trying to get myself in line. And I feel like I'm not affected by my past relationships. I've just like learned from it, but I'm not like hurting or anything. That's my answer.
Oh, I see. I will say, Elaine, if you've gone through any hard breakups, in your time of living, you'll know. I myself have gone through a lot of breakups. Not a lot, guys. Not a fucking, not like billions. Yeah. But I've gone through my fair share of breakups. Few have been harder than others. And I think you'll know when you know. That sounds really silly, goofy, but like, I remember one time I went through this really hard breakup, and it was like 6 months after the breakup, still crying. I was like, still, yeah, still. There was this one song that I would play on repeat just to test, if I would be sad. Every time that song came on, I would be crying. I would be like, damn, I lost this person, and I really cared about them. And then I would keep on playing the song, and then I would cry, but like not as much, you know, until like, was it like 2 years? It took me 3 years or 2 years. It took me a long time, where I woke up and I was like, I think I'm ready, you know, like I think I'm ready to get back in the whatever. So I think you'll know. I don't think that like you won't fully forget about the person, nor should you. You won't forget about like the hurt that it happened. You won't forget about the complications, but you'll see it through a different lens of like, okay, like, you know, life is happening, right? And I think it's important that like during those months, years of you trying to get over the breakup, is you're also working on yourself and trying to ask yourself questions of like, why did that happen? How do I feel about it? What do I want now? What do I need right now? And I think eventually over time, it'll just naturally feel natural to go on dating apps, to go see someone else, right? Like, something else that could happen is, one, you could just let time do its thing, and then you get over your breakup and you're able to explore new ones. Or you might just meet someone where you're like, wait, actually, like I remember in one of my breakups, I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to find anyone like them. I don't think that's going to happen. And then maybe like a few months later or something, or like, I don't know how long it was, I was like, wait, that's crazy. You know, I remember, I think, I met someone and I was like, wait, they're so cool. They're actually so cool. And so like, that was enough for me to feel like, okay, I'm good. You know, I'm ready. But you'll know, like genuinely, you'll just know.
Do you think if you think, like, is thinking like, oh, I think I'm ready, is that enough? Or do you just know?
Oh, no, you'll just know.
Okay.
It's like it's like the dumb shit that people say when you're like, it's when it's love, you'll know. You know, it's like, but am I in love? Am I in love? I don't know. But then when it actually happens, you're like, actually, yeah, I think this is it. You wake up in the morning and you're like, you just wake up and you're just smiling at the ceiling and you're like, I love this. You know, that's genuinely, I think that's how it feels, and I think you'll know.
Okay, cool. Number 4 is red flags to look out for. Ooh, okay, I'm kind of interested in this one because I wonder what Ian will say. Let's see, I'm trying to think of a red flag. Okay, going back to stress and like how they deal with a stressful situation, I feel like sometimes people can be really aggressive. Personally, that's a red flag. I don't really like when people like yell or get really aggressive.
Interesting.
Oh my god, please.
Wink, wink. No plan.
I think it's just a little scary. I really don't have any good experiences with people raising their voice either if they're like
what do you
annoyed.
mean raise your voice at me right now?
I really don't want to. It makes me uncomfortable too. Okay. So
I mean, like, what do you mean you raise your voice?
Like yell at someone out of like stress. I'm enjoying this right now. I'm enjoying this because I know who's listening. This is like
but here we go. So let's say conflict, because one of the most important things about a relationship is being able to communicate / maneuver conflict. How do you maneuver conflict, and how do you expect a healthy way of managing conflict is with your future partner?
I guess like if there is conflict, I think I would give...
There will be conflict.
Sorry. Okay.
When
there will be conflict, you're making the stare you're getting. Like, I can feel your stare.
My bad.
Guys, Ian is just like, what is it? Like just
laser.
staring. Yeah, lasers.
I'll look over here.
When there is conflict, I would like the person to give space, but also just communicate first and then give space if I really need it. I just feel like talking it out is probably the best way to do it. Especially like like, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, that's such a vague answer, but I think that
Yeah.
it works best when people just communicate. Like, I did have a conflict with my friend recently, and then we just ended up talking it out. And then it was like, oh, I need space. Then we gave each other space.
Yeah.
And then we came back once we were both ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would you like to feel? This is important. This is important. It's also because like it's interesting. I think Elaine could benefit from this as well. But like, how do you want to feel when you're having conflict? Because the reason why you want space is because there's an emotion that you're trying to get at.
I think sometimes when I want space, it's just because I don't like the feelings I'm feeling, and I think I'm being unreasonable. And most of the time, if I want space, it's not because the other person has irritated me so much. Maybe that is the case, but most of the time, like if I ask for space, it's because I'm trying to get through my own emotions and understand them before I put them on someone, or like make assumptions that they're the one who's upsetting me, when most of the time it's actually me who's upsetting me.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So you're trying to just kind of like, you're trying to like recuperate your emotions to have a better understanding of why you're feeling that way.
Yeah.
So you're not acting through impulse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, cool. Red flags?
Red flags. Someone who's never fucking had like an inner dialogue with themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Someone who doesn't know how to communicate, who is like super fucking avoidant.
Oh.
Yeah.
This also is another thing that I think if you have an argument with someone, I wouldn't want the other person to think they're trying to win the argument.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
I think that's
cringe.
one of the things that I was thinking about with conflict that I couldn't like articulate. But like sometimes I will argue or have conflict with someone and it seems like they're just trying to fight with me and try to win, even though it's both of us going through the conflict together, and then we could just solve the problem together.
Yeah, I feel like you have to put your egos aside. I think that's really important, and sometimes people don't do that. Because again, if you're not coming at it from like a sense of like love, and you're coming it through like I've seen many of fights from my friends where I'm like, yeah, you're just doing it. You're just like the words you're saying is just meant to hurt the other person. And like,
yes,
why are you being an asshole?
Exactly.
It's like, if this is your partner, like, why treat them so poorly?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Like, and why would you say that even though they upset you right now? Do you really mean that, or are you gonna get back together with them?
And I think there's something that's good about giving people space, because like now you're able to just like step back and say like, okay, like, how do I feel versus how do I, because it's easy, like when you feel wrong, it's easy that you want to be right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but conflict is so inevitable because you two are different people, and that it's bound to happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one thing I was talking to my friend about, is like once you lose a sense of intention, like positive intention, you kind of lose the relationship, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a sense of like losing trust, where if you think that whatever this person is doing is meant to negatively affect you and it was done on purpose, the relationship is gone. At least that's how I feel, you know? Like the moment you start thinking that whatever your future partner is gonna like do is actually negatively like intended to actually hurt you, you're cooked burger.
Yeah, that's making me cringe, because I've seen that happen where they're just saying this to hurt me. I really don't think so. Maybe you could just talk to them about it, please.
Yeah.
And then also I think the reason why it's cooked is because it's so hard to build that back up, where like you think positively, they're like, their intentions are positive. I feel like it's really hard to build that back up after you think, no, they're negatively trying to do this to negatively attack me and hurt me. It's like, okay.
It's hard. That's a hard one. Another red flag.
I think if they're racist.
I mean, if they're racist, xenophobic, they're homophobic, they're uneducated, as in like they don't really know what's going on. If you ask them like, oh, what's happening with Gaza and Palestine? They're like, what's Gaza?
Oh, if people,
cringe.
I think people who are like, I just don't pay attention to that type of stuff. Even if you don't necessarily like pay attention, you really have no idea and you have no opinion.
I think you're turning
that's
a
actually
blind
crazy.
eye. Yeah, you're actually kind of silly goofy. And I think like everything around us is under the guise of capitalism, and so it's kind of hard to not be political. Like it's like you're just kind of like you're not empathetic. Like it showcases like, wow, so you care. Like it's different. We're not expecting whoever our future partner is to be like someone that gives all their money to like, let's say like a mutual aid. It's more of just like, are you aware of what's happening? Do you understand where you fit into all of this, and like how your actions actually make an impact, or both negative and positive? That's really gross.
I also think it's like, do you look at other things that are outside of your bubble? I know
Yeah.
they're not impacting you directly, but like,
Yeah.
do you actually at least look around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like for me, like I'm not someone who reads the news all the time, but like at any given moment when I see something happening or a friend reshares a post, I take like an extra 2 minutes to see what's going on. And like yeah, you could argue that that's not enough, but also like that's enough for me to be like, okay, I know what's going on. I think there will be moments in your life where you feel like where you have the energy to invest more time, more money in a lot of the causes that you believe in. But if you're someone who really has no causes to fight, fight under, fight for, yeah, then it's kind of like you're just kind of like in your own world, and like that's kind of selfish. And I think it adds on to the whole like, I want someone who values community. And that's important to me. So another red flag, if
your friends really don't like them, like they have reasons they can list off. I don't like this person for you.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Then you've chosen wrong. I'm sorry, buddy. Like you're actually you were cooked from the start. If your friends don't like them.
Oh, if they make your life harder and like not fun at all. This sounds ridiculous, but I'm telling you, one of my friends, I wish I could just call your name, but like she was like explaining this like she was like in the talking stage with someone.
Yeah.
And bro, literally it sounded like her life got worse being with this guy. I'm like, I swear you guys are making each other miserable,
Damn.
But just because you guys like quote unquote like each other.
What did he do?
He did something that upset her before a concert, right?
Okay.
Or no, sorry. She did something before the concert that they were going to that upset him.
Okay.
And during the concert, he just was like, I think it was K-Tronada, so it was like a big deal, like a really big concert that people get really hyped for.
What's K-Tronada?
It's
like a K-pop?
No, it's a oh no, I also don't like it's an artist. He's a black artist, I think.
Okay.
I don't know if he's a DJ or a producer, but like basically his arms were crossed and he was just upset the whole time. And she was like, what the hell? It was so whack that he like couldn't put his feelings aside. I'm like, okay, first of all, you're the one who made him upset, but then also like it just sounded like you guys wasted a good experience on each other.
That's hard. I might side with the guy depending on what the argument was.
No, the thing is that like I just don't think they should be together. Like I don't think there was a right and wrong. I just don't think they should be together, because then there's also instances where he makes her annoyed, and it just seems like they're making each other worse.
Well,
and I told her I'm like, I don't think you're like positively impacting this guy. Neither is he doing the same. And it seems like
yeah, sure. I guess they just don't know how to like resolve conflict, or they don't know how to put their egos aside. But like, I mean, conflict will happen. We had a huge fight before a concert.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I also explained that. I'm like, well, we also had to like work through the conflict there. But like, it seems they've had multiple conflicts and still haven't learned.
I see.
And they just, I'm like, why are you with this person?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You're wasting his time and yours.
True. But sometimes I think like people get into bad relationships because they provide a value they think they can't get anywhere else.
How so? What do you mean?
Like going back to like, oh, this person, I need to be with this person because then no one else would want to be with me. It's like now you have to put up with it because you don't think that you're going to get that level of affection with anyone else. Or like, oh, but this person really understands this very niche side of me. That like this thing that happened to me in childhood that like only he understands or she understands. It's like, oh, okay, like I get it. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you should be with them, but I'm just saying that's why people stay for so long.
Wait, okay, a question. Do you think it's a red flag if you don't like this person's friends?
Is it a red flag for who?
Like,
Who's the
like,
red flag?
like okay, so Elaine likes someone. Let's say this is the hypothetical Elaine. I don't know. Elaine likes someone, but Elaine doesn't like this someone's friends.
Why? Why? Give me an example.
They're racist.
Oh, then Elaine. Then it's yeah. Then don't have racist friends. I don't
Okay,
know.
cool.
Yeah.
Or they don't like, they're like political stuff. I don't really pay attention to that.
Well, it depends on, again, a lot of it is case by case.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to ask, like, oh, why are they so detached from, the political sphere?
Okay.
And if it's like, if the reason is like I don't really give a fuck. It's like, oh, okay, then you're a little goofy ass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another red flag. I think let's just list like two more, and then let's move on to the next question. Red flag, if they're not funny, but that's kind of obvious. That's not a red flag, actually. If they, damn, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more.
There must be more.
But they're like red flags, as in like small shit. Like, I think for me, I'm like the person should say thank you. Sometimes people don't say thank you. If I'm paying for, like, when I go on dates, I pay for the meals and drive people. I think like thank you would be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, there was this one time I told Joey, one of the first dates that I ever went on, I paid for the meal and I was still in college, and I remember the girl just kind of like looked to the side, and he just looked to the side. And I was like, oh, okay, word. But then I went on a different date, and the person was like, can I pay for the dessert? I was like, oh yeah, you can, but like, thanks. Just showing like gratitude is important.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I mean, I really can't think of any other ones, so let's just move on to the
Sweet. Number 5. What do you think is the difference between a relationship that you're willing to work on to fix, or a relationship that can't be worked on and should end?
Gosh, I actually have no idea. My inexperienced assumption is that I think you'll know if it's worth trying for, but also I think the other person has to, like, if you guys keep having conversations of like trying to resolve conflict and you guys say you will show up and do better, if you don't show up and don't do better, and that goes both ways, I feel like maybe don't work on it.
Yeah.
My inexperienced take.
I think one of the differences is that, like, do you trust this person? Right? Like, that's a huge thing. Like, that's a foundational relationship thing. You have trust, you have communication. And if you trust this person that what they're doing is meant to, like, they're trying their best, then yeah, you can keep going, right? I think like what Joey's talking about is the exact same thing that I would say, is that like you'll know. But like you'll know because if you trust them, then you'll keep going. If you lose the trust that like what's happening and what they're doing and how they're acting is meant to hurt you, or it's a lack of respect or a lack of care, then that's it. That's it. That's game over. But I think there's also multiple different ways that a relationship tends to end. From my own experience, right? You can do like cold turkey, but I don't know if I like cold turkey unless it's like the circumstances are really harsh. But I also know that like in a relationship, there are benefits. So that way, sometimes the relationship kind of fizzles out, and at first it's like the commitment, then it's like the emotion, and then it's everything else, and then it ends. I think I like to, I'm like an exhaustive type of person. Like I want to see how far it'll go of like, we could work it out. We've already decided to commit. Let's try our best. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But usually you'll know whether or not you want to keep committing. And you'll also know whether you feel like the other person also wants to keep committing to trying to fix the relationship.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to word this question exactly, but like, how do you know when someone's trying their best, but their best isn't good enough for you? Like,
oh, shit.
Is that a reasonable thing that happens? Have you ever
Yeah.
experienced that where you can feel the other person like really trying and you're just like, this is not enough for me? And do you
Yeah.
end things there?
I think that one's really tricky because there's a lot of different things to consider, right? Like what are they trying to I think I need more specific examples because it's really never cut and dry. It really never is, you know?
But okay, well, let's just say, have you experienced anything like that?
Where the person is trying. I'm like, yeah. And then if the person is like, let's say there's something that happened and you two are trying to get over that thing, right? And they're trying to constantly remind you of something that you felt like you lost, right? Like whether it's like a trust on a specific area. If they keep on trying and it doesn't seem like it's good enough, I think the first question that I ask myself is, well, is the person worth it? Worth kind of like the pain or the time that it takes for them to keep trying. And if that's the case, then yeah, keep trying. But at some point you'll feel like, oh, the amount of effort that this person is putting into the amount of like results that I'm seeing isn't matching like the pace that I want it to go to. So then you kind of just end it.
Got it. Thank you.
You know, I think it's always asking about like, who is this person and are they teachable? Are they someone who's going to grow with you? And if the answers are yes to those things and you love them and they're teachable, then yeah, keep trying. If it's like, well, you don't feel like you love them, drop that. If you don't think that they love you, drop that. If they're trying, okay, then keep going. But like, if they're trying, if they're not, if you feel like they're genuinely if they say that they're trying but they're not genuinely trying, then you'll know your answer there too.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
You know.
Thank you for answering my one question. Yes.
Yeah. Any other questions on relationships?
No, I think that was honestly the one I was thinking of the most.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this too, actually, now that I have the mic. And I have the audience member listening.
I am shaking my head.
I think it's important for you to, both people, to do the boring stuff in the beginning. And what I mean by the boring stuff is like when you're officially dating and you're officially in a relationship, define what you want from that relationship and what you want that to look like. You know, like have those conversations of like, well, how often do we want to hang out? What do we want to do? What do you want to get out of a relationship, right? Because like, yeah, for sure, in a relationship, there's a lot of affection, there's a lot of love, and there's a lot of like going on dates. But like specifically, like I want to feel supported in this relationship. I want someone who can blah, 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 blah in this relationship, you know? Do that stuff early so that way it starts off really well. And then like, so that way those channels of communications are already open by the time that there's the first fight. You know?
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's that. Anyway, this is all for this episode for the podcast. We'll see you again next week where we talk about we're going back to a format where we're just talking about our weeks. We're actually, since a lot of people don't actually listen to our podcast, we're actually starting a new YouTube channel. And it's going to be a channel that we're not going to be talking about unless people ask in the comments. Because if you ask in the comments, then we'll know you watched this video, you know? If you comment a star emoji.
And it's 3 a.m., who really cares?
Yeah.
Please comment it anyway.
Exactly. So like if you comment a star emoji, we'll share with you the new channel where we're, instead of doing a podcast, we'll still have the contents of what we want to do in this podcast, which is mental health, self-confidence, community building in a way that feels very authentic to us. We're going to package it in a very easy to digest video so that way you can watch it for 10 minutes, 7 minutes, and you can get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
You know, versus listening to us kind of like take our time to get to the lessons. It's going to be more visually compelling and the writing will be better. But if you also just want to stick around to hear about our lives, because again, the reason why Joey and I like to do this podcast is because it feels as if we're just documenting our friendship, our siblingship. We're going to keep doing it. And so that's kind of where the podcast is heading. It's just going to be like how was your week? and literally fucking just two fucking bros talking to a podcast.
Yeah.
No visuals,
Bro.
no anything crazy. So you could literally just listen to it or have it on your second screen. It's just gonna be that simple. Just a fucking podcast.
Just two bros.
Just two fucking bros.
Whoa, explosion.
Yeah, but we're not gonna add that.
Yeah. That's why I
so
made the noise.
that's kind of the end of the podcast. Elaine, thank you so much for messaging us. We appreciate you. We hope you're doing well.
Yes.
Let us know if you have follow-up questions.
Good luck, Elaine.
Yeah, good luck with everything. Hopefully we get to maybe meet you one day once we become kind of big and we have like groups and events and stuff like that. Okay, cool. That's the end of the podcast. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Peace.